last presenter for the day is Dr. T Ramakrishnan from JAIN University, and the title of the paper is Demographic Dividend to Education Dividend, an analysis of higher education system in BRICS nations and its economic potential.
I strongly believe, very good afternoon, my submission to Vinod sir and Shilpa ma'am, is that I strongly believe demographic dividend is an education dividend. My motivation goes back to when I was sitting at dental college, looking at the Week magazine stating the best colleges survey in 2015 or the top 10 institutions by India Today and so on. So hence, I thought I should look into which is the right rating agency to identify which are the best institutions to fill the gap of to utilize the best qualities of universities by our students and enhance economic growth, thereby being skilled by the right pedagogic approach and globally approved study institutions to enable global economic growth or productivity. So the objective is basically to figure out if BRICS nations can produce highly skilled labor force and the methods to collaborate to enhance growth in higher education. So there was some assumption made that India has a higher potential for economic growth due to its demographic dividend and competency in higher education amongst the BRICS nation. So the methodology followed was on content analysis and also through the Times Higher Education World University subject ranking methodology was their data was used for intervening the analysis. So THE methodologies of this nature, they have 5 indicators, performance indicators, and distributed into 30% weightage for teaching, 30% on research, citations 20%, industry income 10%, and international output 10%. So of the 200 listed universities, 89 universities have been identified, listed through the THE ranking system. So the key findings for this is as follows. We get to notice, I mean, these are data which you already been seen, that India has the least GDP and the highest number of higher education institutions and the second largest number of students, and China follows, China has the highest number of students but does not have, comparatively to what we have in terms of higher education institutions, but yet turned to be the best among the BRICS for productivity among the youth. So these are standard, these are known information. Now the age structure, you get to notice that 25 to 54, the productivity age exists in the BRICS nation. The percentage of male and female population, you also get to notice that Russia has got a higher female population compared to the male in their domain, and the share of number of economically active population to national population was also looked into, and you get to notice that Brazil stands quite high out here compared to the other nations. The GDP, again, which was shown in the previous slide, is also scanned through to arrive at a conclusion. So the percentage of share of public expenditure on education to GDP, there is only a small percentage that is being spent in India, and the raise is also very marginal to when you compare with even a country like South Africa. So that's to an extent of 3.2%. Then the number of institutions also, though India has the highest, we do not fall to the ranking indicators. As you get to notice, this is the prime slide, and after that I'll conclude, is there are 5 parameters: teaching, international outlook, industry income, research, and citations. Now out of the 5, you get to notice India stands the lowest in all aspects, and it trails in teaching after Russia and in citation, only in two aspects. Rest of it, we stand last as per actual data provided by THE's database. So whether you look at the additional performance parameters as student staff ratio, you get to notice India again is,
Can you sum up in 30
yes.
seconds?
So an international students outlook, India's still these. So hence, looking into these parameters, even on the mean score weightage of students less than 30,000 or greater than or less than equal to 15 or greater than 15, so that 30,000 and 15 were arrived at the mean scores of all the details that have been enlisted in the table. So this table, when you try and derive India from others, this graph projects that India is better in teaching and citation because you have the negative scores there compared to the others, whereas the other nations are far superior beyond zero. And here I just conclude to state that the null hypothesis, I mean the assumption that I've made that the that India has a higher potential for economic growth due to its demographic dividend and competency in higher education among the BRICS nation stands rejected for the reason of these 5 parameters of THE. We don't stand high, and we have only around 16 institutions of 32,000 institutions which have been falling under this criteria. The limitation is that I could have also cross-checked with other rating agencies their findings and should have come up with some better recommendations. Now, for the recommendation for this study is that
okay,
the
Dr.
research
Ramakrishnan.
concept and
Dr.
publishing criteria for higher
Dr.
education should be made mandatory. That's
Dr.
all.
Ramakrishnan, recommendations are okay.
Yeah.
So, good work, no
Yes.
doubt. We should have a big round of applause. I am not finding any test for testing your null hypothesis. How you are saying that this null hypothesis stands rejected?
Yeah, statistically, I have only compared, I have only deducted from the mean scores provided as in table number 9, sir, in the hard copies. So, table number 8 and table number 9. So, table number 8 and 9 projects this particular graph. Yeah.
Oh, that is okay.
Yes.
The table is fine.
Yes.
But how, on the basis of these two tables,
Yeah.
you are rejecting the null hypothesis?
Yeah. Very clearly, I needn't do a chi-square test for this. I thought, because I'm not a statistician, but I felt, and where we can identify the data by just deducting and finding out the percentile value, what is being.
Whether that is a good approach?
Yeah, I felt yes, because it's very simple, and I need to just convey the findings accordingly, rather than.
But it is not scientific.
It is.
I wouldn't know.
What we are thinking convenient, right,
Yes.
is not scientific.
I probably I admit to that.
For non-public is fine. When I
Yes.
am writing an article on a magazine, newspaper,
Yeah.
this type of even no analysis. But when we are talking to a scientific community, nobody will accept it.
So, my humble suggestion. You have done already good things, and we have seen you in the last conference also. You
Okay.
are very much knowledgeable, and you can do that.
Yeah.
You should have applied some inferential statistics and then conclude whether this null hypothesis is accepted or rejected.
Fine, I admit.
I hope, I request that you just add this element,
Yeah.
right? Then this particular aspect will be all right.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Give this token of appreciation to Shilpa ma'am, sir.